officer for 3 or 5 years in a rural area, you don't need a public health practicum, an international public health practicum, you see. And we particularly people who qualify for scholarships to come and do a Master of Public Health are often very experienced people. And you know, I sometimes have confronted with students and I wonder, can I teach them anything? You know, they were in charge of cholera epidemic in Africa, sleeping sickness control program, you know. So I think we've got to realise that there's a diversity of students. Mind you, we can teach them things, but they're not in that practical area. So some students don't have family or work responsibilities and they're doing the course part-time and they can't go for a practicum. Some students can't afford to do a practicum. So I'm just, and this is why we have a very flexible, at my university, we have maximum flexibility. They're master's students and they're adults to start with, right? They are not children, and many of them are very experienced people who deserve to be treated with respect. So we try and make it as flexible as possible. This includes the choice of their coursework and whether they want to do a practicum or not.
Hello, I'm Joseph. I come from Malawi, from Africa. Yeah, I would just like to make some comment about the planning for the global health practicum, because as a hosting organization and working in Malawi for quite some time, I think it is quite important that when we are setting up such kind of network, please make sure that you really communicate with the people on the ground, with the field experience and knowing what is the situation. Yeah, because I think that is during the whole preparation stage, there should be some information that when you are preparing the material or the training, you might need to take into the consideration. And then I think that's a crucial point, as I want to mention that it's very important, it's the key to the success for such kind of program. Thank you.
I'm Jim Hui-ji from Oregon State University Center for Global Health. As we consider the goal, the function of global health practicum, and also the evaluation of global health practicum, I suggest there's one issue we might want to give a more thoughtful discussion. That is, what is the goal we expect students to achieve in the global health practicum? For example, there are at least 2 potentially conflicting goals. We can discuss and debate about it. On the one hand, like my university, the primary goal of global health practicum is learning. We don't expect students to change the world or to save the world. The primary goal is to learn. And therefore, we don't hold students responsible for the project program outcome, because most of the time the students don't get to design the program, the project, so how can you hold them responsible? But on the other hand, there are debate discussion about we should evaluate, not just evaluate, the goal of the global health practicum is for students to do real contribution to the community health change. And if that's the primary goal, then that's potentially can conflict with the learning goal. So that's something I think it deserves more discussion about which one we think are the more primary goal at the student level.
I'm Muli from Sydney University School of Public Health. And firstly, I actually just like to ask a question for all the universities here. How many of you actually have the practicum as a compulsory component of your program? Thank you. There's quite a few. In our program, Master of International Public Health, like in New South Wales University from Sydney, our practicum is actually not compulsory. It's on voluntary basis. Again, like Richard described, our students' degree is actually postgraduate level. our students, many of them have a very strong professional background. And so, therefore, this is not compulsory. Usually, the student who come from a developed country has no work experience in generally public health, let alone from public health experience from developed countries. And they actually, from employability point of view, they want to take some what we call placement or internship in developing country. And if they do express their interest, we actually have a structure to facilitate that. At the Sydney Medical School level, my colleague Sunis here from the Office of Global Health, they actually coordinate all the student outbound placement program for both medical students and the Master of International Public Health students. And within our International Public Health program, we actually have one dedicated academic staff, again, acting as a coordinator. So, for example, we have a pre-departure orientation, one-day program. All the issues relate to different countries. We focus on 3 countries mostly: Vietnam, and East Timor, and the Philippines. So all the country-specific issues are presented, discussed at the one-day orientation program. And the students also enrolled in one of the elective units. So the unit coordinator immediately actually become their supervisors. Now we have a huge alumni body, and most alumni from these countries, now they act as the in-country mentor to our students. I urge you tomorrow to go to take a look at the poster presented by one of our alumni and became the country coordinator for our classroom in the field program in the Philippines. Thank you.
I'm Budi Haryanto from University of Indonesia. I think this is a very good moment for us as an APRU member of the university. This meeting end up with a letter of commitment and recommendation for all of us, because this is very important to strengthen our effort to more focus, more attract the government or the university president to support the global health. That's only my idea. By the end of this meeting, in the 27th of September, we will have a recommendation, a letter of statement and recommendation from the APRU for all members of every university. Thank you.
Any further comment? And yeah, we can run until 5:15, and the bus will be leaving here, take us to the reception place. It takes about 20 minutes because the president of our university is waiting for us. So, but we still have 15 minutes. So.
My name is Mami. I came from Japan. I'm a student. From the student viewpoint, I would like to make one comment.
What university?
Osaka University. Yeah, from the supervisors and professors, they are thinking when they reach global health practitioner. It is very good opportunity for us, for students who are interested in the global health. So we have a more opportunity to go study and practice in the international field. On the other hand, I think global health is not only mean for to relate to the international health. So we need to think about the health issue. What is the health issue in that country? So when we think about that way, not only for the students who are interested in the global health, but also the students who are not interested in the global health issue, they need to think about the health problem in their country or in the world. So this kind of global health program also might be needed. That's my point. Thank you.
So there's a quote from Benjamin Disraeli, an important historical figure, that says, "I hate definitions." And having said that, so I'm an epidemiologist, and people ask me what epidemiology is, and I say something like epidemiology is the study of the distribution of diseases and its causes. They go like, oh, and they don't understand it. And I think we have some of that problem in the global health area, because we say global health and it means different things to different people. For some people it means things that the Gates Foundation will fund. For others it means what undergraduates will be interested in studying. And I think there's some value in sort of pursuing this. When people ask me, when I talk about this now, I say, well, it's public health for the planet. And what global health is. And again, in terms of sort of the discussion that APRU might have, I think there's some good richness to the discussions that have gone on in the groups that would be worth capturing here. And maybe if we were to write a letter to our university presidents to try and explain to them what we do, it would be helpful to say, well, we're members of the APRU Global Health Program, or want to join the APRU Global Health Program, and here's what it's about and why it's important. So, at the end of the day, on Friday, we should sort of come back, I think, to this and see how much we have accomplished, because of course there's no definition, but there may be a set of ideas here that would be useful in explaining what it is we're talking about and find a common ground amongst it. So the quote, "I hate definitions," I think is a good one. And that said, I think we should be doing some work on what we're talking about.
Just one comment about advocacy of global health practicum. Suppose we make something about global health practicum. Even if we make a very nice discussion, it may end up within APRU framework. But I think we should go beyond APRU. Well, for this, we need to, for example, to talk with World Federation of Medical Education or other bigger body, so that this will be globally recognized. Or else our discussion may die within our circle. So this is something we should try after we get a meaningful outcome.
Very good.
Hi, if it is a grant,
Introduce yourself.
I'm Song Huang, I'm from National Young University in Taipei. If we were to develop guidelines for the global health practicum, I think that we should have 4 guidelines. One for undergraduate students, one for medical students, and 2 for graduate level students, because one is for international students who come to this country, and one for local students who want to do a practicum outside of the country. So I think we need at least 4 guidelines.
Very good. Any more? Yeah, Richard?
Well, John, since you continue to bring up definitions. I have to say that I independently don't like definitions because I haven't heard that quote from Disraeli, but I totally agree with it. But I thought that I've thought that for a long time, even before you said it came from Disraeli, and it causes a inflexibility of thinking, and so we use the term international public health because we're a Department of Public Health and community medicine, which sort of is code for general practice or primary care in many ways. So that the kind of global health or international health we do is related to most prominently related to public health, and that's why we call our degree international public health, or you could call it maybe international global health, or global public health, if you like. But it's public health. It's not about it's not about clinical medicine. You see, now it's been argued that there are activities by medical students which are encompassed in this term global health, which means usually about them getting clinical experience in other countries because they can see diseases they've never seen before, and there's lots of patients and so forth. But we use the term international health and global health simultaneously. The degree's called international health. The group of people in the school who are involved in international health are called the global health group. You see, so we're having a bet each way, and I think there's a ancient Chinese saying that man must walk on 2 feet. So we are walking on 2 feet. One is global and one is international. And also I try and we do discuss with students some of the perceived definitions of both words, because I think this helps them understand, but we don't give them an answer, because anyway, our course is not about giving people answers. It is about trying to get people to understand the problems. And if there was some sort of simple answer to all of the multitudinous problems we see in different countries around the world, I mean, it would be easy. They probably would be fixed, tomorrow. But there's no simple answer. So that's what we warn them in the beginning. That don't come here for answers. We're here to discuss the questions and their complexity.
Okay, yeah, it's probably about time. That's starting from John says the professor at USC is no answer, just questions, right? Then come to this from Australia says no answers, just questions. So it's much easier to be a professor in your country than anyway, that's we'd like to have some guidelines, develop a draft in the coming 2 days. Everybody seems to agree. And our friends from Indonesia say recommendation letters to our president of the university or authorities. I think that would be an achievable goal for this coming 2 days. Recommendation letters and a draft guideline. That's probably 4 guidelines, as Professor Wang has suggested. And we can build a platform, right? To have a warehouse or where the practical sites are, right? In Uganda, in Malawi, in Philippines, then put some cost estimations for each site. Then it makes our institutions more easy to send our students in a safe and fruitful way. So a platform or warehouse we can accumulate through these 2 days. How many sites which are operated by your institutions and your willingness to share with APRU member and APRU friends. Okay, and we probably will avoid the definitions. That's we'll waste our time. So is this agreeable conclusions of the day? And we will do that, and we definitely will carry this beyond APRU's scope. to become more global. That's what we are trying to do. Okay. So everybody like it? Yeah. These days you don't say approve it because it's a generation like. So our life depends on how many likes you are liked, right? So you really like it, right? So punch the like. So you carry your personal stuff and to leave all other things here and wait for us in the lobby, and we will do bus transport everybody to the reception place. Thank you. Then I will conclude this session.